much I wanted to say, but now it's too late. Find a way, find a way, spend the night with you in a mattress. So you left me there. Took the 9:35 from Pegasus.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. As I always say, I hope you guys had a good weekend, that your week has started as well as it can. Monday is out of the way, so we can push on. Next stop, the weekend. Still got a little bit of a way to go for that. But anyway, hello to you guys in that live chat room. I was just answering a question in there. I don't think it was a question, it was more of a statement. Or it might have been a question about the shampoo. And yes, we're starting with hair talk immediately on tonight's live stream. Just to say that the shampoo I used to use was called Thicker Fuller Hair. But then, and just for a bit of information, I'm using Thicker Fuller Hair at the moment, but this is the new formula, and this is what they did years ago. They changed the formula, and you can pretty much see from the next video that, yeah, the new formula, unfortunately, didn't have the same volumizing properties, and that's what everyone said when they were writing reviews for the new formula, that it doesn't work as well, go back to the old formula, but they didn't. They just kept it as the new formula. So this is apparently Thicker Fuller Hair for the new formula. So we're just going to have to deal with it. And I'd probably just, and by the way, Kevin let me know that it was still on sale, but I think the old formula, yeah, was discontinued. So the actual product is still on sale, but it's the new formula that doesn't work as well. I mean, I'm sure it works a little bit, but I think I've got naturally thick hair anyway. So I think with the other formula, that's why it just blew the doors off my hair, because it's already quite thick. So then to thicken up thick hair, and that's why, yeah, sometimes it was absolutely huge. So, especially if I'd warmed up, because this is the thing, that the hair, with the increase in temperature, tends to get bigger anyway. But let's get into that live chat room and see who's in there tonight. We have Kevin, Laurie, Body, Speak of the Devil, Kevin, Mark, Billy, and Barbara moderating in there, Carla as well, and Corey, Don, Debbie, Billy again, Laurie, Bob's in there, Nalita, Celeste, Robert, and let's see if we can get some other names. I think Mary went through there as well. Tammy, Julesy, hello. Thank you for joining me on tonight's live stream. So let's get all of the things up on screen that we normally have. And my patrons' names have started in the correct order, so that's a good sign for tonight's live stream. These people make it all possible, so a huge thank you to you. You know who you are. My patrons' names go across the bottom of the screen because, yes, they are the foundation of everything that I do, as I always say on the live streams, allowing me to just keep on pushing forward with everything that happens on the channel on a day-to-day basis. So, yes, big shout out to these people as well as the moderators that we just saw going through the live chat room. And you'll see Carla about to go through there again. But we also have Anil in there. And Susan and Dennis will be in there as well. The other two that we haven't seen yet going through there. So, yes, on tonight's live stream, it's going to be, I mean, fingers crossed, the usual, if everything doesn't go too wrong. So we started out with Paris Nord, as voted for, over on Patreon. So thank you for those requests. Tonight we have a vote for the live stream cover video. Behind Blue Eyes is currently in the lead at 55%, but it's between that one and my collaboration with Cena, the drummer, and which song did we do? I can't remember. But, oh, You Give Love a Bad Name, I believe, if I remember correctly. So yeah, that was the collaboration video that we did together. So those are the two that are being voted for currently at the top of the live chat room. So if you guys want to have a vote on tonight's cover, just do that and you'll be able to have hopefully the one that you vote for. But that's the thing, 50-50 chance. Right, let's get into the likes goal for tonight. What we are aiming for, we are going to be aiming for 300 likes for tonight's live stream and getting the likeometer up on screen. We are at 161 likes so far. So if you could leave a thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be fantastic. And it looks like, I mean, 300, that's quite a good number for working things out because we need 137, I do believe, to hit that target. So we are already over halfway. So thank you guys, the early bird crew who were spiking those likes before we even started. And yeah, great. It looks like we might hit the target, or at least we've had a good start. We might just stall and then not get any more likes, but hopefully we'll get a few more thumbs up. Right. The last video that we had on the channel was the Mugabe review, and you might be able to see it on the wall behind me there. And yeah, check out that video if you haven't already, because yeah, this guitar can just basically do everything ever. And yeah, it's rechargeable, it's got a speaker on it there, so you can play, you can record your playing and then play over the top of your recorded playing. So yeah, check out that video if you do get a chance. The good thing is that I had some good feedback from Mugabe, and yeah, they liked the video, which is great. And yeah, I think I'll just kind of leave it in the background there for people to have a look at. I'm sure some people that haven't seen the video will wonder exactly what that guitar is. There is a practiced guitar, or maybe a travel guitar, that was made by Yamaha that looks similar, but I don't think it has all the same functions, or at least it doesn't, go as small as this guitar, because it folds up. The Mugabe guitar, as you guys will know if you've seen the video that I did on Sunday. But yeah, so many functions, and a lot of people asked what was the price, because that's something that I didn't mention in the video, and it's $825, I believe. It's on sale at the moment, so it's obviously going to be a little bit higher than that if it's on sale. But I mean, the thing about this guitar is, I would say that's very reasonably priced, because when you get it, you realize the playability of the guitar. And no word of a lie, I have played guitars between the $1,500 to $2,000 mark that don't play as well. They aren't as easy to play as the Mugabe guitar. So yeah, you're paying $825, which I guess in the UK is about, I don't know, £500 or £600, something like that. And yeah, you're getting so much for all of the functions, and the fact that it's so portable. It's just a travel guitar you can take anywhere, but you can use it in every single situation. And yeah, for the playability, just, it's a really nice guitar. I mean, the action's really low, and yeah, thinking from a price point, I mean, you would pay that amount of money for the playability alone, at least, in my experience. I mean, I used to teach in a guitar shop, so between lessons I would go and try out all of the guitars. I would try and get through, I mean, it's quite a big shop, so I'd try and get through all of the guitars that I could, including the top end acoustics, which, yeah, I think we went up to about £3,000, which would have been about $3,500 to $4,000. And yeah, playing those guitars, I would say that I would choose the playability of the Mugabe over those, really expensive guitars. So yeah, for me, the price point is almost just as good a selling point as everything that it does. The fact that it is, you wouldn't say that it's an entry-level guitar, but for what it is, it is great to have all of those things, potentially within your grasp. Anyway, The other thing about the guitar is, of course, you can change the strings. It comes with strings, and they're 12 gauge strings for those of you that want to know about that kind of thing. And it comes with an extra pack of 12 gauge strings as well. I actually have everything still on my desk here, and including the strings that I can lean over and grab, because my desk is in a bit of a mess at the moment because of doing that video and then editing and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, they're 12 gauge strings, but if you want to get a different gauge string, if you want to go lighter or heavier, you probably would want to go a little bit lighter. Then of course you can fit those to your guitar as well. And it's really easy to change strings on, and that's sometimes something that can be quite difficult, is, you know, taking the stoppers out of the acoustic guitar and then pushing them in and making sure they're actually seated properly, so that when you don't tighten up the string, it just pops out again. Whereas, yeah, this is totally fixed in the bridge. So you just pass through the string and then you tighten it up. And as long as you just keep that in position, there are no plugs that are going to pop out. It's more like a mechanism that you'd get on an electric guitar. So it makes actually restringing the guitar very easy, even though, you know, it's fundamentally an acoustic guitar, the way that it's been made, the way that it sounds. But I would say that the neck on the guitar is more of an electric guitar feel, because certainly the width of the guitar is identical to an electric guitar, the width. So yeah, if you do struggle with playing acoustics and having a slightly larger fretboard on acoustic guitars, the Mugabe is slightly smaller. So it means that, yeah, I mean, it just adds to that playability that for people with smaller hands, it's just more accessible. You can get your fingers on that fretboard, no problem. So anyway, yeah, it was a good team up with Mugabe for that, and I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I certainly enjoyed making it and playing the guitar, and yeah, just messing around with the different features on there. But we will get into the live stream rather than talking about that previous video. And let me get the donations tab up on screen, because as I always say, you don't have to donate. Just tuning in is great. Maybe leaving a thumbs up or a comment in the live chat room. If this is your first live stream, just introduce yourself in that live chat room. Say hello to everybody, and that's how we'll get to know each other and each other's usernames, so that we can see who the usual suspects are in the live chat room on a Tuesday and a Saturday. So those are the live stream days, should I say evenings, because we live stream at 12 midnight Greenwich Mean Time, always the same time on a Tuesday and a Saturday night, which is technically actually the morning here, because it's 18 minutes past midnight. So we're in the very, very, very early hours of Wednesday in the UK. So yes, for those of you who can't resist donating, as I know there are a few of you, there's a link in the description below if you want to do that through PayPal. And through PayPal, they take between 3 and 5%. And in the super chat window on YouTube, they take between 35 and 45%. So you can make your decisions as to whichever way you want to do it, but you don't have to, of course. Right, speaking about donations, I know that there have been a few over on PayPal, so thank you guys for those. The first one I'm going to mention, I have to move this out of the way so I can see it. Roseanne donated £5, so thank you for that, Roseanne. And the message was, "Hi Phil, are there any songs that didn't chart well that you think should have been a top 10 hit?" So thank you for that. And I mean, I think most of the songs that I know, I mean, it just tends to be the way of it. Most of the songs that I know, but a lot of people know, is because they did well in the charts and got a lot of exposure. And generally, songs that got a lot of exposure, radio airplay, usually will do quite well in the charts. I would say off the top of my head, I know that Highway to Hell by AC/DC didn't do very well here in the UK. I'm not really sure about how it did over in the USA, but I know that when there was this whole campaign here in the UK in order to get AC/DC to number one instead of the X Factor, the Simon Cowell X Factor song, which was always getting to number one. Literally every year at Christmas, the Christmas number one would be from the TV show and whichever single they decided to release. So there was one year where a guy decided to try and get AC/DC to number one, and it got a lot of support, and the song did get to number one for the Christmas number one. And I remember them saying that the song originally didn't get to number one. In fact, it might not have even made it into the top 10, but because of this campaign, it was now at number one. And I'm trying to think whether in the UK that was technically their first number one. So no, this is something I'd have to look into. But yeah, I know that song, just because that campaign, it didn't do well originally when it was first released, but then yeah, many years later it did because of this campaign. And the other song probably, it actually goes quite well because Rebel Yell by Billy Idol and Steve Stevens, who's been on the channel, as you guys will know. We've had a chat with him and he invited me down to Wembley to see him and Billy perform live, which was great. But yeah, I think Rebel Yell was one of those songs that, it charted, but I don't think it was a top 10 or a number one. It was, I don't know where it charted, but I would assume it was kind of somewhere in the middle there, because that's just one of those that I know definitely wasn't a number one, and didn't go really high up in the charts, because that's one of those that I expected would have been quite high in the charts. So there you go. You have a couple of songs that rhyme. Highway to Hell and Rebel Yell. So there you go. Thank you, Roseanne, for that. But yeah, I don't really know a lot of songs that didn't do well, or at least very well known songs that didn't do well, because it tends to go hand in hand that if they're very well known, it's because they charted quite highly. So anyway, thank you for that, Roseanne. And then we had a donation from Chris for £10. So thank you for this, Chris. And that is a straight up donation. Nicole donated £12 and 64 pence. So thank you for that. And the message was, hello, Phil. For your smile, your talents, and always equal character, and all my supports. Many kisses in the sky. So thank you for that, Nicole. And Tammy donated £10. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, what are the most important attributes a songwriter needs to be successful? Rock. So thank you for that. And that's the golden question, isn't it? It's like, what do I need to write a huge hit? The thing is, you can describe the things that you need, but whether you can actually get the things that you need is another thing entirely, because you would say that you need to write something that connects with the whole population, ideally everyone in the world, so that they can then buy the song because they like it, because they connect to it. So yeah, saying that doesn't really explain anything, but I think I'm talking about probably more of a musician's standpoint of, thinking about being in a band or being a songwriter who's part of a band. But to just be a songwriter in general, you're looking for the connection with an audience en masse, but musically you've got to have hooks in there, something that is melodic instrumentally that's going to stick in your head, and then you'll need hooks with your melody lines vocally. And talking about the vocal, I think that it's always going to be the case that you connect to something more strongly emotionally when you've got range in the voice of the person who's singing. So by taking your verse to a chorus an octave higher, that's something that you'll see in pretty much most mainstream hits. You always have that range going an octave higher for the chorus. And even if it's not exactly an octave, throughout the song you will get from the lowest note to the highest note that change of an octave. So yeah, the most important things you need, as a songwriter, if you're writing a song and that's it and you don't do anything else, then you'll need to get a great singer who can sing your melody, where you've kind of had that octave's worth of range to make it a dynamic journey and to make it an emotional journey. Lyrical content's always going to be good as well. If you can write something that connects to a lot of people, then that's great. But yeah, to be a great songwriter it's kind of the holy grail of knowing exactly what you need to do, because otherwise everyone would be a great songwriter. And I think when you hear a great song, there are just things that you hear that you think, oh, that's great, and I love that change. For example, one chord maybe going from the major to the minor, which is something that you hear all the time, with the same chord, to put that kind of twist on it to make it sound a little bit more somber, taking it to a little bit more of a I was going to say depressed place, but not even that strong. It just puts a little bit of darkness in the sound, going to a minor chord from a major chord. And that's something that I mentioned. I can't remember which song it was, but it happens in loads of songs, and I know that I cited a few songwriters who do that, including Oasis, who, I remember I kind of gave an example of 2 or 3 songs with that one change. Anyway, the point is that you'll hear particular changes and particular vocal melodies over changes that you think, oh, I love that change and I love the way that that sounds. But you can then go and write your own song and literally do exactly the same thing, but it doesn't sound the same, or it doesn't have the same impact. So sometimes it's just production, instrumentation, mix. There are so many things that you can put in there that make a song special, and even sometimes just the vocalist on the day being in front of the mic, just getting the perfect vocal take, and maybe getting a band in the studio at that particular time, and you can kind of hear the chemistry that's in the song between the people in the band. So, I mean, it's a strange thing, but that does happen, that you can have a version of the song that just sounds amazing and it sounds great because you get an energy in the performance. And that's a huge selling point, and the reason why the Beatles songs connected with so many people is because they not only got on well as a band, but their rapport musically, somehow you can hear that gets communicated to you. And more often than not, the Beatles just got in front of the mics, no pitch correction or auto-tune, of course, back in those days, but they got in front of the mics, they played their instruments, and what you're hearing is effectively a live sound of them playing. So you hear the connection that they have, not only personally but musically with each other, and it's all picked up by the mics at that split second. So you're hearing that connection. So this is why you can take exactly the same songs, or you can take the same progression and try and put it into a different song, change the lyrics, but you're not going to have a hit. It's not going to automatically be a hit because people might not be able to hear or appreciate. They won't sense the rapport of a band and of guys just making great music and being into and the fact that it is their song. It might be a story that they're singing about. There's a personal story to them. So again, there'll be just stuff in their performance that you can't put your finger on, but it's just great. And every time you listen to it, it's the same. You get that same feeling. So it's the holy grail, as I said, just knowing what you need to be a great songwriter and what you need to put in your songs. I think just experimenting with it and just write what you like to write. I think it's always a bad idea to try and write for the industry and think, right, what do people like? And they're really into dance music at the moment, so I'm going to write a dance track. I'm going to attempt to write a dance track. Because if you're starting to try and write something outside of your knowledge base, outside of your influences, it's probably going to sound like that you're trying to write dance music rather than just sticking to what you know and what you love. Because when you write stuff that you love, people will pick up on that, and generally it's going to be better anyway, because that's the kind of music you know and you enjoy. And if you enjoy something, it's going to come across a lot better than something that you're kind of attempting to do without really having any enjoyment from doing it. So yeah, that would be my advice. But thank you for that, Tammy. And Deborah has donated £6. Thank you for that, Deborah. And the message is, happy live stream Tuesday. Spike the likes and plug of the mug. You are the best analyzer on YouTube. So thank you for that, Deborah, and the kind words. And a plug of the mug. Here we go. And there we have it. If you want to get your hands on one of those mugs, any of the Wings of Pegasus merchandise, then you can head to the tray underneath this video, if you do indeed have a tray, that you can click on. It'll take you through to the spring.com store, or you can click on the link in the description below if there's no tray underneath this video, and that'll take you straight through for the hoodies, the tumblers, the mugs, the caps, the t-shirts, all that kind of stuff. And you can head over to wingsofpegasus.com if you want to pick up any of the merchandise over there that Carla does. We have the guitar picks, the necklaces, earrings and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, you can head over there. Right. Oh, another thing, just to mention that if you want to email me anything about the live streams, if you've got, I know that I've mentioned about the guidelines that are now in the description below, so you can see all of those if you want to refer to them. If you've got any questions about the live streams or want to contact me, then head over to wingsofpegasus.com and just go to the contact page there, because all of those messages come straight through to me, so I'll be able to read those. So that's just another bit of information for you guys if you do want to get in touch. So thank you for that, Deborah. And let's go into the next one, which is Kevin. So thank you for this, Kevin, a £1 donation. And the message is, please help me wish my lovely sister a happy 60th birthday. So a big happy birthday to Kevin's sister. And maybe Kevin could leave a name, but I'm sure that everybody wishes the same for Kevin's sister. Maybe everyone in that live chat room can say, happy birthday, Kevin's sister. And yes, 60th birthday. Have a great day. I hope that everything comes to you that you're hoping for in terms of gifts and all that kind of stuff. This is the problem that I have with birthdays. Apart from cookie cake, I don't really know. I don't know what I want. And that's always the thing at Christmas as well. When my family say, right, what do you want for Christmas? I always say, I don't know. I always have to have a bit of a think about it. Generally, I mean, guitar strings is fine. But other than the usual Turkish Delight and chocolate orange, yeah, it's very difficult to think of something. Birthdays, cookie cake. I think that's now something that I'm going to ask for every year. Just because I like cookie cake quite a lot, as you guys know. So, Kevin, thank you for that. And Carla has donated £10. Thank you for that, Carla. And that is a straight-up donation. So, yeah, big thank you to the moderators, as always, in that live chat room. I saw Susan and Dennis, I think, just quickly pop through the live chat room. So, hello to you guys in there as well. And we have another donation that's come in from Lynn. So thank you for this, Lynn. And it's the £123.45 donation that Lynn has very kindly given there. The 12345, and the message is rock on. So thank you for that, Lynn. And yeah, I will try my best to rock on as long as you guys keep on rocking on with me in the live chat room. We will see. So, I can see Bonnie just said, is it a cookie? Is it a cake? And, I mean, that is the big question. Is it a cookie or is it a cake? Oh, I know something about this. My brain, it sometimes does this. My brain throws out a bit of information that I think I don't even know that I know. But when you leave a cake, oh, I'm not sure whether this is going to be correct now. It's something about the difference between a cookie and a cake is that when you leave one of them out, it gets solid after an amount of time. I think that's because they were saying Jaffa cakes. I don't know if you have those in other countries, but Jaffa cakes, people were saying, are they actually cakes? And the reason that they either thought it was a cake or it wasn't a cake, because when you leave them out for a long time, it goes solid. But I'm just trying to think, because, I mean, a cookie is already pretty solid. So I guess that means that anything that is a cake is soft, like has sponge to it, like a sponge cake. And anything that's like a cookie is hard, so it's not a cake. So anyway, a cookie cake, I would say, is a cookie. It's not really a cake because it's, I mean, it just goes a little bit harder after time when you kind of leave it, if you especially leave it out in the air, out in the open. But if you wrap it up, it should stay fine to keep the air off it. But yeah, a cake stays soft, does it? I don't know. Maybe you guys in the live chat room can let me know what I'm thinking about, or what my brain is trying to tell me. It's trying to give me some information, but I'm just not quite deciphering what it means. I know that it's something to do with when you leave out a cake, if it doesn't go hard, but if it does go hard, then it's not a cake. I don't know. So anyway, let's move on. But thank you, Lynn, for that donation. And this is the problem, that sometimes when I catch a comment in the live chat room, I get thrown off course a little bit. But I mean, that's fine. That's what the live streams are all about. Just chopping and changing and just going with whatever happens. Right. I think, yeah, it's just basically a big cookie, as Cindy's going through there. It's a giant cookie with some decoration on it, with some icing on it. So the stuff that you put on top of cakes, that was put on top of the cookie cake. Maybe that's why they refer to it as a cake, just because of the icing on the top. Who knows? But anyway, thank you, Ed, for this £20 donation. And I'm just going to scroll down because the message is, what are your thoughts on Tiny Tim's singing? Is there anything there? Thanks. So thank you for that, Ed. And I know that Tiny Tim is one of those that has been requested on my list. I know that it's on there, but I mean, until I really kind of dive into it, then I can't really give an informed opinion. And this is what I like to do when I've listened to a lot of a particular singer, but I haven't listened to a lot of Tiny Tim's singing. And I mean, whenever I read Tiny Tim, I think of Jurassic Park. And I'm not sure, it must be because that kid's name is Tim. But I don't even know if that's true or not. For some reason, I think of that kid. That's the that's the image that I get in my head. But yeah, Tiny Tim, I don't think is someone that we knew here in the UK, or if he was big in the UK. My parents certainly didn't listen to any Tiny Tim. So yeah, that's one of those that I will cover in the future, but I can't give an informed opinion on Tiny Tim, unfortunately, at the moment. But I will get to that in my request list. Thank you for that, Ed. And Janet has donated £11.57. So thank you for that, Janet. And the message is, happy birthday month. That practice guitar is really cool. So yes, it is indeed. And I call it a practice guitar, but I mean, pretty much because it means that when it's charged, you don't need to have an amp. You don't need to plug it in. So for practice, it's great. You can just pick it up and start playing. But yeah, it's also a travel guitar, is another term that people probably would refer to it as. So yeah, it is really a travel guitar. I mean, some people said, oh, it'd be great if it was headless so that you could take it on an aeroplane with you. But it doesn't need to be headless because you can take it on the aeroplane with you. It is small enough. It's literally about that big. As I showed you in the video. So it is hand luggage. You could take it on an aeroplane absolutely fine. You don't have to worry about it having to be even smaller than it already is. It's small enough. So yeah, and what I mean by being headless is like the head of the guitar where the strings go in and you've got the machine heads at the top. I don't know whether I can kind of use a hand to point to it, but right at the top of the guitar, or the itch live stream time's getting in the way, but all those bits there, those are called machine heads that you tighten the strings with. Some guitars don't have a head, and you do the tuning where the bridge is. Now, the only problem with that is on an acoustic guitar, you know, that generally isn't done. It's more electric guitar, and I'm not sure how, with the increased tension of the strings, how it would work on a travel guitar like that to actually do away with the head of the guitar. So yeah, it doesn't need to be any smaller anyway. So that's just for those people saying that, oh, you know, it should not have a head on the guitar so that you can take it on this or on that. You could already take it everywhere. Trust me, it conforms to everything. No matter where you want to take it, it is small enough. So Anyway, yeah, thank you for that donation, Janet. And just going through because Kevin has donated £1 again and says, my sister's name is Cindy. I'm doing my coding homework and the live stream and forgot to say her name. So thank you for that, Kevin. So everyone can say again, a happy birthday to Kevin's sister, and it's Cindy is the name we're looking for. So have a fantastic birthday, Cindy. Right, now let's have a little look in that vote for tonight's cover video. It looks like it is 57% of the vote for Behind Blue Eyes, and it's 20-1 here in the morning. So we are going to be getting into that relatively soon. And I can see that Rose says, I have a Blake headless bass. You want it? Question mark. So thank you for the offer. But I'm actually kind of getting, if anything, too many guitars, either bass guitars or standard guitars. I've, of course, now got another guitar that's been added to my collection. And yeah, I mean, the bass guitars that I had before were just a Squier bass, Fender Squier bass, and then the Ibanez, which, yeah, is just the guitar that you will see, the bass guitar, on, I think, most of the cover videos. But then if you go further back, you'll find the Squier being used in other videos. But certainly the Ibanez is a little bit more easily playable. And I know that watching this, my dad will think, oh, hang on, what? That's my bass guitar. So, yeah, I just steal basses. That's what I do. So whenever I don't actually technically own one myself, but that's because I haven't really needed one because, yeah, my dad has purchased basses in the past, and then whenever I've needed to do a cover, I just grab one of those because they're all in the studio. This is the thing that we collate, is that the right word? I don't know, but we put all of our guitars together, so it means that any guitar one of us wants to use, then it's just in the studio and we grab it. Of course, for my things that I do in here, I've got just a selection so that I don't have to go out to the studio to grab it and then, come back inside. So yeah, I just have my selection in here that I just go between. So I've got acoustic analysis videos covered, and I've got obviously the Strat here for a lot of videos. I use the Strat actually, but then for the heavier genres of music, then we have the Gem, which I move out the way so you can see it behind the microphone. So yeah, I pretty much keep those here because the Strat covers most things for heavier tones. The Gem covers most things for acoustic. Obviously, the Maton covers that as well, sent to me by Mario. So I'll be forever thankful for that, as well as the Gem. So it's given me a lot of options. And now, adding in the mix the Mugabe, if I want to use that. So yeah, I always keep a selection close to hand that I can grab for the live streams now, because we have the fill jams that happen there as well. So yes, thank you, Kevin, for letting us know that Cindy is the name of your sister and it's her birthday. Right, I can see Joe's just quickly going through. Oh, and by the way, tell us more about your dad's musical I'm not sure what that says. It's too small, but it looks like scan, maybe. Yes, I'm not sure what that means. But what was I just about to say? Yes, because Joe commented, and I was about to say we've got a new bunch of backing tracks that Joe has sent through on Patreon. So thank you for that, Joe. And they're just in a list. I think we worked our way through all of the other backing tracks. There's only one that we didn't do, but that one was, I think, for drummers rather than guitarists. So it was just practicing different time signatures, and the guitar that was on that was either a guitar or a guitar with a harmony lead guitar, so it wasn't actually chords, so it's more of a rhythm practice thing, which I thought, yeah, for a fill jam it would be good, or it's better to have some kind of chord progression going on, so then I can kind of play along with that. So I think that's the only one that we didn't do, but it was one that wasn't quite applicable anyway. So I think what we'll do tonight, a little bit later on, if we hit our likes goal, which we are aiming for at 300, and we need 26 more people to hit that thumbs up. So if you haven't hit that thumbs up yet, it'd be much appreciated if you could do that to get us to our likes goal, but also it just helps this live stream to get out there a bit more and for the channel to grow on the whole. But yeah, we will make our way through that list that Joe has sent. And yeah, I'm not sure what... Oh, Joe's gone through again saying your dad's musical activities / proclivities. I think that says. Yeah, thank you for that, Joe. Yes, so my dad, I think I've probably mentioned this on the live streams before, but my dad was kind of always into music, and when he was in his kind of very young years and teenage years, like most guys, especially when he's growing up, wanted to be in bands and things like that. So yeah, he started on keys, and then he played bass, but guitar as well, and started to get kind of more into guitar, but then went over to drums as well. So yeah, he kind of moved around, but it was always a kind of recreational thing, not that he didn't want to be a musician. And I think back in those days, everybody wanted, a record deal, because that's the only way that you could make it back in those days. But yeah, he unfortunately never got that far, but he played a lot of sport as well. And I think this is probably the main difference, is that when I was 20 or 21, I decided that I just wanted to do music. And yeah, it literally only took me about 15 years to then be doing it full time. But yeah, I made that decision when I was 20 or 21. I gave up football. I played football soccer at quite a high level, and yeah, that's what I did a lot of through my teenage years, as well as playing guitar, which I really enjoyed doing at home. I played for many hours, but soccer was just something that I had an affinity for, because my dad played soccer at a high level as well. But he continued to play soccer throughout his life, and yeah, that took up a lot of his time. I mean, even into his late 20s, maybe even his 30s. Actually, if he could, he would still be playing now, but he's injured. So yeah, he's always played soccer throughout his whole life, whereas I just really focused on the music, and I knew that that's what I wanted to do. That's what I enjoyed doing most. So I think it's something that he's done recreationally, but as much as he might have wanted to do it full time and kind of get a record deal, I think that he had a lot of other things that he was interested in, like playing tennis as well, lots of kind of different sports and golf. So yeah, he kind of did a lot of other stuff. But I think that if you're really trying to do something seriously, you really want to do it for a living and not do anything else, then you have to do away with everything else and really focus on that. Because the people that do make it, that actually get to where they want to be, they are only focusing on that one thing, and that's why they get to where they want to be, because every single second of every day they are pursuing that dream and pursuing that goal. So yeah, if it's a case that you're trying to do something but then you spend time away from that, the time you spend away, there might have been a break that you might have got. Somebody might have contacted you that you actually missed because you were out doing something else. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a hardcore view of it, but that's just how I see it. That yeah, I think you really have to dedicate your life to achieving a particular goal if you want to achieve that goal. Because especially with music, everyone, probably most people in the world at some point, love the idea of being a musician or being a singer or doing something full time. So yeah, it's definitely a competitive marketplace. So I think if you're not really focusing on one thing and you might be focusing on lots of things, unfortunately I think you never quite make it in any of those things. But if you just really focus on one, then I think you've got an outside chance of getting there. So anyway, thank you for that, Joe. I think I think that answered the question, but hopefully that is along the right kind of lines. I always said the "ite grind." So I've taken the R from... I haven't taken it. This is something that my brain does. It's taken the R from right and put it in the word kind, but after the K. So, I mean, normally it's just swapping the first letters, but now it's... I think my brain is actually getting better at doing this in a more advanced way. So now it's moving letters into almost the middle of other words. So yeah, I guess in a year or two's time, I'm going to be talking absolute gibberish and making up my own words, such as grind. Is that a word? I don't think that's a word. That's something I just made up. So we can find a definition for that, whatever it is. So let's jump into tonight's cover video. By the looks of it, it's going to be Behind Blue Eyes. So I'll click on End Poll and we'll wait for the result to go through. I just saw somebody said, oh, it was Ro that said 12 more likes needed, Wings of Pegasus. So yeah, 12 or 13 on my screen, but maybe, there we go, 12 more is what we're looking for. So 11 more, maybe we can get a little bit of a spike of the lights going on to get us up to 300. Maybe that can happen during this cover video. Who knows? Fingers crossed. We will see. Let's jump into this. Of course, my version of the Who Classic, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Behind Blue Eyes, that's the winner. I'm not sure whether I said that or not, but we'll jump into that and I'll see you guys after this. Rock!
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes. No one knows what it's like to be hated, to be fated, to telling only lies. But my dreams, they aren't as empty as my conscience seems to be. I have hours only lonely. My love is vengeance, it's never free.
Hello, Phil here. Thank you so much for watching my cover of Behind Blue Eyes by The Who. I hope you enjoyed it. The names that you can see going up the screen here are the names of my patrons, who I'd like to say a massive thank you to for their support and for making videos like this possible, and for making all my videos possible on YouTube. So thank you guys, your support is massively appreciated. If you want to join me and the gang over on Patreon, head to the link below, the little square link, click on that and that will take you through to the site. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Rock! And there we have it. So I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thank you for voting for that particular cover video for tonight and suggesting that over on Patreon. So we are going to be jumping into the pick roulette for tonight, because I haven't mentioned, but we are doing a pick roulette tonight. And I haven't picked a top tip either, so let's look into that live chat room. As always, when I start the pick roulette, I'll have a little look in there and see if I can pick out anybody who wants to be the top tip for tonight. But we will be jumping into tonight's pick roulette, so good luck everybody, and I will see you guys in a second. Rock! So let's get the pick roulette wheel up on screen, and if this is your first pick roulette, then the darker segments here are the t-shirts. If you land on one of those, then we have a t-shirt roulette. But never fear, we will be having somebody win from this particular wheel, and they'll go away with a signed Wings Pegasus pick in the middle of the wheel. As I always say, you have to be in it to win it, so you have to be in the live chat room when we land on your name, and you can't have any aliases and then say, oh, that was my username but I've changed my username, so now it's not what's on the wheel. It has to be what's on the wheel, so just make sure that it is your username and that you are in the live chat room when your name shows up. And if your name does show up, then if you can tag Carla immediately after the spinning of the wheel and your name comes up, just tag Carla in your comment so that she can get everything that she needs from you to get the signed Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. But without further ado, let me have a quick look into that live chat room to see if I can pick out anybody that is going to be the top tip. I can't see anybody saying top tip because we've just met the goal, and lots of people are saying goal and all that kind of stuff. So right, let me have a look on the wheel. I'm going to pick out Mary V as she went through there as the top tip for tonight. So apologies about that. Let's give the wheel a spin and see who is going to win. And I can see... oh, Mutt Francis said pick me, but yeah, unfortunately Mary V is the top tip for tonight. We are slowing down, and look, there's Mary V. So at least we managed to pick out her name, but she isn't the winner for tonight. We're getting close to... can you see my... oh, you can see my arrow on the screen, so me pointing out Mary's name was relevant, and it might be Diane. It is Diane that we have landed on, so congratulations to you, Diane. Now, as I've just said, if you can tag Carla in the comment section in that live chat room, but with your comment, just tag Carla, type @CarlaMurray in order to get her tagged in your comment so that she can get everything that she needs from you to get that Wings of Pegasus pick sent off to you. Now, commiserations to everybody else, including Mary, the top tip for tonight. I maintain my 100% losing record of picking the top tip, but as always, we will try again at the next live stream, which will be Saturday. And whenever we hit the goal for any live stream, the lights goal, we have a pick roulette the next week. So we'll be having one of those on Saturday, and because we've hit the goal for tonight, it means we're having a pick roulette next Tuesday. So let me get everything off the screen so that I can say entries for next week's pick roulette are now open. And I'm going to type in the live chat room at Tammy Doolittle, and then I agree, exclamation mark. What you might find is if the person is in the live chat room, like I just typed at Tammy and then Tammy's name comes up. So then you can click on it and type I agree. And let me just press enter so that actually goes through. But yeah, this is what you have to do, is just tag Tammy as it's going through there. Just copy what I've done there and make sure you spell it all correctly, get the right spacing, even though it's just one space between Tammy and Doolittle and then another space, I agree. Just make sure you do that because it means that Tammy will get tagged in your comment, which is what needs to happen. And only one entry per person, please. So, right, we are at 1 a.m. here in the UK, and you can start seeing lots of people going through here. If this is your first live stream, your first pick roulette, and you don't know how to enter, just copy what everyone's doing here. At Tammy Doolittle, I agree. Anyway, yes, we will be jumping into the new Fill Jams, the new Fill Jam list that we have. Now, this is just a mix that Joe has put together. And, I mean, before we had headings of the kind of backing track it was, but we haven't got that anymore. But, I mean, that's fine. I think I'm tempted just to go through from the top to the bottom, just like I did with the first list that we had. And we do have the timings of each backing track. So it's 1 minute past 1 at the moment. Right, quick vote in the live chat room. What do we want to do? We can either do, because I can now see the timings, which is actually quite good. I don't know what the backing tracks are going to be, but I can see the second one is 10 minutes and 26 seconds. So we can either have a long fill jam, or I can do the first one, which is 4 minutes and 40, which means it will leave us time for something else afterwards, whether that be a fill tune, or something else, probably most likely a fill tune. So we could have a fill jam or something else, or just a long fill jam. So I'm going to be looking into that live chat room while I'm looking in there and waiting for this message to go through. I can see Barbara says long one, and some people are saying jam time. So I'm going to grab... Oh, Corey says long one as well. Oh, Kevin says first then. So that means we have, what was that, a 2-1? Rose says long. Joe says fill tune. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a mix as to fill jam and tune. Okay, long jam, jam and cartoon. Okay, right, so we're getting, fill tune as well, fill jam, fill tune, long jam. I shouldn't have asked this question. Okay, it looks like it's about a 50-50 split. So let me flip a Wings of Pegasus pick. If we land on Wings of Pegasus, we will have a long jam. If we land on the other side, then it's going to be fill tune and fill jam. Let me flick it up. And it landed that side up, so not... So what was that? Fill jam and fill tune. I think that's what I said for the side that isn't the Wings of Pegasus logo. Anyway, well, that's what I think I said. So we'll do the short jam, then we'll have a fill tune afterwards, because it was a bit of a mix. Right, let me click on this one and mute it. Oh,
I used to work 9 to...
that went wrong. Okay, I tried to mute it and I clicked on... I don't even know if this was the right one. Okay, right. Well, what it's gone to is a deep psychedelic groove guitar backing track jam in C minor. I tell you, if I'm going to click on the first one again. Okay, yeah, this was the right one. Okay, so this is coming from YouTube Jam Tracks, and that's YT in capital letters, and then Jam Tracks on YouTube, and it's deep psychedelic groove guitar backing track jam in C minor. So we'll have a little listen to this and see what happens. Right. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I can hear it, which is fine. Let me see if I can hear this backing track. It's only like 4 minutes in length. Okay, and we've got the guy playing over the top. Okay, I don't know what the levels are going to be like. We'll give it a go. Laid back one here. And that was the end. I got a little bit confused at the end there as to whether it's going to stop because, yeah, things came up on the screen. But anyway, it doesn't matter. A very short backing track. And as you could tell, it's lucky that I just listened to it and try and play along because the one that I said it was a deep psychedelic groove guitar backing track jam in C minor. But it wasn't that at all. It wasn't in C minor. It was in E. So yeah, surprised I actually kind of got away with that and wasn't overly confused. But the mix is, I don't know why it says mix. Okay, the first track in the mix is Sweet Soul R&B backing track in E. So that's what we were playing to. Yeah, so there you go. That would have been great, because let me play actually in C minor, because this is what I mean. This is why it's great to just be able to kind of play along. Is that if I played in C minor? Oh, that's what it would have been in C minor. So yeah, it would have totally ruined everything. So yeah, there we have it. It was E, and I think a lot of people probably listening to it realise that things I don't really take in what I'm saying half the time, so I just read out the title and I just play along. I don't really think, okay, this is in C minor, so let me go to this particular place or play through this particular shape. I just kind of get into it. I mean, once you're into, once you're into your major shape, then obviously it's self-explanatory. But yeah, for those of you that were a little bit confused, that's what happened. We were labeling the mix rather than the backing track. So let's get into the fill tune. I don't know whether one of those got requested, anyone in particular. Let me have a little look in that live chat room, just waiting for it to go through. So let's have a little look over on Patreon to see if anything was requested over there, because if I can see something, then I will play it. I know that we've had a few Phil Jans requested over there, or Phil Tune requested by Tammy, but not, and Nalita as well, Phil Tune, but no specific one requested. So, Billy says the library. No, the library. So thank you for that, Billy. Let's have a look at this one, a real life story. And then, I mean, this is your last chance to get your name on next week's Pick Roulette wheel. Type at Tammy Doolittle, type I agree, all in that same comment to get your name on that wheel. So let's jump into this real life story, and I'll see you guys after. Rock.
Guys, I'm so excited. I have just managed to get us an awesome gig.
Well, I do hope our definition of awesome coincide.
Well, I know a guy who works at a pub and he said we can play there this Friday night.
You know a guy. So far, to be honest, I'm on the fence about this gig. Persuade me. Where is the venue? Will I have heard of it?
The pub is called the Golden Guff. It is in Surrey. My friend has told me it will be amazing. We need this gig.
Well, it certainly sounds like a reputable joint. It's about an hour's drive, but I'm going to trust you on this. Let's book the gig.
We won't regret it. The place will be packed. I can't wait.
Wowzers, this pub really looks like a library. Hello there. Do you work here?
Yes, I do.
Yes, we do need help. Thanks for asking. We are the band who are playing here this evening. What is the plan?
Are you sure there's live music tonight?
Well, I ruddy hope so. If not, my bandmate has yet again stitched me up, as well as himself. So, who is in charge?
I am the only person working here tonight.
Well, at least we know, therefore it will not be busy tonight. Great. Where is the stage, and we'll start to set up?
Well, whenever someone has played an acoustic guitar, they have been sitting here, so you can play in this area.
Oh my guff heck of frig. You may actually notice there are tables and sofas in the way. not to mention just being a woeful position for music.
I'm afraid you'll have to move the table and sofas out of the way then.
Well, as I'm a musician and I want to play, I will do this manual labor in addition to the hour's drive. I also assume we are not getting paid for this gig.
That is correct.
At least you're holding up your end of the bargain. Well, let's get to work, guys. These sofas look like the heaviest sofas we will ever lift in our lives.
I'll leave you to it and I'll make sure that if you need anything, I will be impossible to find.
Many thanks for following standard protocol. Great job, guys. It only took an hour and I think I've got a hernia. But I'm sure it will all be totally worth it and not a gig we should have declined. Just the person I was looking for. So, where is the PA? Is it quite heavy to lift? And also, how many channels does your mixer have?
We don't have a PA here.
Ha 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 ha. That was a fantastically great joke. Wasn't it? Or should I say, it better have been.
No, what you see is what we have.
That, I'm afraid, is sweet guffaw. Well, what do you usually do on live music nights then?
Jacob usually does all the band stuff. He's not here today, but I have his number if you want to talk to him.
That might be an idea. At least every last detail of this gig has been meticulously planned by the venue, otherwise we could all look like absolute total amateurs. Hello Jacob, I'm Phil from the band that are playing at your pub tonight. Where is the PA? And the mixer? For the gig? Okay, so it's in your car. And you are in your car at the moment. And you're 5 hours drive away. Do you think this may be an issue? Considering we're playing in 45 minutes, you didn't realize what the time was? Oh well, that is a very acceptable excuse. I mean, how could anyone ever have foreseen these unlikely turn of events? Unbelievable. So here is the situation. The PA is 5 hours away. We have 45 minutes until we start. So this venue has quite truly rogered our collective bums in the guff.
Oh dear. I can't help feeling partially responsible for us being in this position.
Yes, I wonder why that is.
Just so you know, your friends and family are also just starting to arrive. They must have made the hour-long drive to support you.
Oh. Great. Well, as ridiculous as this sounds, I have purchased my own PA, so that if a music venue is retarded enough to not have any equipment, I have everything. It just so happens it's in my sister's boyfriend's van, who should be here shortly. So, it seems that you as a collective venue won't have egg on your face. You jammy dodgers.
I don't understand.
Oh, just that to the innocent onlooker, you'll look like you have a great PA system and are a great live music venue, when in fact you are actually a total load of rubbish guff venue. With no idea, and couldn't organize a piss-up in a brewery. Present location accepted. No offense.
None taken.
You are seriously mentally vacant. I'm going to slag off this pub to my family now. Bye.
And there we have it. That was another real life story. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. And I saw some comments going through the live chat room about relative chords, maybe, or maybe I imagine that somebody was saying about C. But anyway, on that backing track that we had, I don't know whether people were discussing it or not, but we had the E. This is just highlight something that I saw in the live chat room. So the position that I was playing, you know, this is E major, but the relative, it wouldn't be C, it would be C sharp minor for C. So, which we, I think, actually had on the backing track. So we had this. C sharp minor. So starting with the E. So because they're relatives, you can just stay in the same place, and now you're playing in the minor key, so you'll be ending on the C sharp rather than the E when you're playing over the top of E. So yeah, that was it. A. Did it go to E? Then what, B? Something like that. So anyway, yeah, just explaining about relative chords and the fact that, yeah, you can play just exactly the same shape if you want to. And that's a great thing about playing on guitar. It doesn't matter where you move that relationship. So if you have, say for example, the D, and then you move to B minor. Yeah, I'm just playing exactly the same shape. I think I've explained this in a video before, but you know, it is great. The thing about a guitar, you can just be in the same place, and as long as you're resolving your runs and your lines on that particular root note, it's going to make sense in the minor, and then for the D, ending on the D, it's then going to resolve it as well. So that's the only difference really that you need to make when you're playing exactly the same shape. Just edit the note that you're ending on, that you're resolving your lines with, make that the root note of the chord, and then you're good to go. But anyway, let's not make this too complicated. I just wanted to, yeah, explain that the relative chords between the A and it was the C sharp minor rather than the C, which I think I saw. Maybe I read it wrong. Maybe somebody was saying the C sharp and not the C. But yeah, C sharp is what you wanted. So anyway, I will be back live stream on Saturday night, of course, and I'm going to be here with another video for you tomorrow night, so look out for that one. And thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. If you're watching this in the future, on catch up, you can still hit that thumbs up. It really does help this live stream to grow and for the channel to grow on the whole. But I will catch you guys at the next one. Thank you, moderators, for doing such a fantastic job, and everyone for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week, and yeah, I'll be here tomorrow night with another analysis video. So I'll see you guys then. Rock! And just to interrupt my outro, because I've noticed that the Thors donated $10. So thank you for that. This is like when you're in the movies and all the credits are going through and everyone leaves, but then something else comes on for the people that have stayed for a little bit longer. So all of those people who turned off will miss this bit. So yeah, thank you for the Thors for a $10 donation. And it says, "We can never thank you enough, Phil, for all of your hard work." So thank you for that. I don't like missing donations or any donation, so I wanted to mention that right at the end, interrupt the outro, but I'm definitely going now. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I will catch you guys tomorrow night. Rock!